Listen to me carefully. Right now, tonight, someone in America is cleaning out an old drawer. They find a handful of old pennies, dark ones, brown ones, old ones, and without thinking, they throw them away. Gone forever. And somewhere in that handful was a penny worth more than a brand new car, more than a year's salary, more than most people have saved in their entire life. These are wheat pennies. Old, dark, brown, forgotten, the kind nobody picks up off the floor anymore. But these specific coins, pressed in Philadelphia over 100 years ago, with no mint mark, are selling at auction right now for tens of thousands of dollars each. I'm going to show you exactly which ones, exactly what to look for, exactly how to tell the difference between an ordinary penny and a life-changing one. Because one of these coins could be sitting in your home right now, in a jar, in a drawer, in a box nobody has opened in years. Do not move. Watch every second of this video, because what you are about to learn could change everything. Coin 1, 1918 wheat penny. The deadliest war in human history is finally ending. For 4 years, American soldiers fought in trenches across France. Cold, muddy, terrified. Boys from farms in Ohio, cities in New York, small towns in Texas, all of them in the same mud, the same darkness, the same fear. And on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, the guns stopped. Silence fell across Europe for the first time in 4 years. And in Philadelphia, inside the oldest mint in America, the presses kept running. A copper disc gets pressed. Abraham Lincoln appears. Wheat stalks rise on either side of 1 cent. No mint mark, no letter, just Lincoln, just wheat, just 1 cent. This penny enters a world exhaling after 4 years of horror, a world trying to remember what peace felt like. And over the next 106 years, time leaves its mark on this coin in a way nobody planned. Warm, spotted, natural, something worth $106,000. Here's what makes this penny completely unique. Every coin in this series has its own surface story, but the 1918 Philadelphia wheat penny developed something that almost never happens on a coin this old. Light brown spots. Not a full layer. Not uniform coverage. Specific concentrated warm brown spots, sitting naturally across both the front and the reverse. Now here's what makes this so extraordinary. 1918 was a copper crisis year. The war had stretched every American resource to its absolute limit, including the metal used for coins. Certain penny dyes that year produced coins with inconsistent copper composition in specific surface areas, different copper density in different spots. And over 106 years, those areas with different density developed brown spots at different rates, creating this specific natural spot pattern that is impossible to replicate artificially. Front spots and reverse spots, developing together naturally over more than a century. And underneath every single spot, Lincoln is still standing, still sharp, still defined, still readable. The date 1918 fully clear. The wheat stalks on the reverse still standing strong, light brown spots, both sides. Natural, no mint mark. Philadelphia, 1918, $106,000. In 1918, a young American soldier sat in a trench in France, cold, exhausted. Counting the days, he reached into his uniform pocket, pulled out some change, counted his cents, held this penny for just a moment. Lincoln staring up at him, steady, calm, familiar, something from home, something normal, in the middle of everything that was not normal. Then the war ended. He came home. Maybe this penny came with him. Maybe it sat in a jar on a shelf for decades, while his children grew up around it, while his grandchildren were born, while the world he fought for kept moving forward. And all that time, in certain quiet spots on its surface, brown was forming, slowly, naturally, beautifully, like the coin was marking the places where time touched it most. The trench penny, born in the year the guns went silent, spotted by 106 years of American memory, still holding Lincoln underneath every spot, still standing after everything, waiting for someone who finally understands that those spots are not damage, they are history. 1918 Philadelphia wheat penny. No mint mark, Philadelphia confirmed. Natural light brown spots, front and reverse, bilateral and organic. Details still clearly visible between and beneath every spot. 106 years old. Born in the year World War I finally ended. If your penny matches every single characteristic, that spotted brown 1-cent coin, that penny most people would look at and see nothing but an old damaged coin, is worth $106,000. $106,000. For one penny. One spotted cent. $106,000. Check your old pennies tonight. Check the ones with brown spots. Check the ones from the early 1900s sitting forgotten in old collections. Because the trench penny is still out there, still spotted, still warm, still holding Lincoln underneath all of it, waiting for one person who finally understands what those spots mean. Tonight, let that person be you. Coin 2, 1,935 wheat penny. America's broken. The Great Depression has been crushing this country for 6 years already. Banks have collapsed. Farms have dried up and blown away. Families are living in tents on the side of roads. Men in suits who once ran companies are standing in bread lines. Children are going to school hungry, going to bed hungry, waking up hungry. America in 1935 is a country that has forgotten what normal feels like. And in Philadelphia, inside the oldest mint in America, the presses keep running, because even in the darkest times, America still needs its money. A copper disc gets pressed. Abraham Lincoln appears. Wheat stalks rise on either side of 1 cent. No mint mark, no letter, just Lincoln, just wheat, just 1 cent. This penny enters a country on its knees, a country fighting to survive one day at a time. And over the next 89 years, something extraordinary happens to this coin's surface. Something that tells the story of everything this penny survived. Something worth $85,000. Here's what makes this penny completely unlike anything else in this series. Because this coin tells two completely different stories, on two completely different sides. The front of this coin is in fine condition, clean, defined, sharp. Lincoln's portrait holding strong after nearly 9 decades of existence. The date 1935 fully readable. The lettering crisp and clear. A front face that looks like it has been respected, taken care of, preserved. But then you flip it over, and everything changes. The reverse of this coin has developed a natural green zinc layer, not the aggressive corrosion green that destroys coins, not verdigris eating through the metal, but a natural zinc patina green. The same chemistry that slowly turned the Statue of Liberty from copper to green, a protective natural layer. That formed on the reverse surface over decades of circulation. And here's what makes this two-sided story so extraordinarily rare. The front is fine and sharp. The reverse is green and natural. Two completely different surface characteristics on the same coin. At the same time, front telling one story, reverse telling another. Coin experts call this contrast toning. When opposite sides of a coin develop completely different natural characteristics simultaneously, it requires extremely specific storage and circulation conditions that almost never align perfectly. And on a 1935 Philadelphia wheat penny with no mint mark, in circulated condition, this contrast between a fine, sharp front and a natural green zinc reverse has been documented in only a tiny handful of verified examples worldwide. Fine front, green zinc reverse, circulated, no mint mark. Philadelphia, 1935, $85,000. In 1935, a man stood in a bread line in Chicago. He had lost his job 2 years ago, lost his savings the year before that. He was wearing the same coat he had worn for 3 winters. He reached into his pocket, counted his change. Every single cent mattered. He held this penny, Lincoln staring up at him. 1 cent. Not enough to change anything, but real, solid. Something he still had. He spent it. And this penny kept moving. Through the rest of the Depression. Through World War II. Through every decade of American recovery and growth and transformation. Through 89 years of everything this country became after its darkest moment. And as it moved, as it circulated through all of it, the front stayed strong, Lincoln's face holding on, refusing to fade completely. But on the reverse, something quiet was happening. A green layer was forming, slowly, naturally. organically. Like the coin was wearing the color of survival. Like it was showing on its back what it had been through, while keeping its face strong for the world. The Depression survivor, born in the darkest year America ever faced. Fine on the front, green on the reverse. Two sides of the same survival story. Still holding its detail underneath everything. Still standing after 89 years. 1,935 Philadelphia Wheat Penny. No mint mark, Philadelphia confirmed. Fine condition front, sharp and defined. Natural green zinc layer reverse, organic and protective. Circulated condition. Lived in, but detail still visible on both sides. 89 years old. Born in the heart of the Great Depression. If your penny matches every single characteristic. That two-sided coin, fine on the front, green on the back. That penny most people would look at and see only damage on the reverse. Is worth $85,000. For 1 penny. 1 cent with 2 completely different stories. 1 on each side. Check your old pennies tonight. Check the ones with green on the reverse. Check the ones where the front looks fine but the back looks completely different. Because the Depression survivor is still out there, still strong on the front, still green on the back, still carrying 89 years of American survival on its surface, waiting for one person who finally understands that the green on the back is not damage. It is the story of everything this penny lived through. Tonight, let that person be you. Coin 3, 1,958D Wheat Penny. America is dreaming bigger than ever before. NASA has just been created. The space race is beginning. Americans are looking up at the sky and asking, how far can we go? Cars have fins like rockets. Television is in every living room. Rock and roll is changing music forever. America in 1958 feels like a country on the edge of something spectacular. And in Denver, inside the mint that had been pressing coins for decades, something historic is happening. For the very last time, a copper disc gets pressed. Abraham Lincoln appears. Wheat stalks rise on either side of 1 cent. A small letter D appears below the date. Denver, 1958. This penny does not know it yet, but it is one of the very last wheat pennies ever made. Because in 1959, everything changes. The wheat stalks disappear forever, replaced by the Lincoln Memorial. And these final Denver wheat pennies enter a world that has no idea it is saying goodbye. Here's what makes this penny unlike any other coin we have discussed. Because this is not just a rare coin. This is the last chapter of an era. The wheat penny had been part of American life since 1909. 50 years of Lincoln on the front. 50 years of wheat stalks on the back. 50 years of Americans reaching into their pockets and finding those familiar stalks staring back at them. And then in 1958, it ended. The 1,958D Denver wheat penny was among the very last of its kind. One of the final coins pressed before the wheat design disappeared from American currency forever. And this specific coin developed a natural light black layer across its entire reverse surface. Not the front, the reverse. The wheat stalk side. The side that was about to disappear from American history forever. Like the coin knew, like it was covering its wheat stalks in darkness. Before they were gone forever, that natural light black layer on the reverse developed slowly over 66 years of existence. Smooth, even, natural, like a shadow falling across the end of an era. And underneath that dark layer, the wheat stalks are still there. Still defined, still standing, still visible, for the last time. Light black reverse toning, Denver mint mark, 1958. The final year of the wheat penny, documented in only a handful of verified examples with this specific reverse toning pattern. $48,000. Here's your complete identification guide. Step 1. Find any old penny. Look at the front. Abraham Lincoln facing right. Read the date clearly. Does it say 1958? If yes, you are already holding something historically significant. Step 2. Look below the date for a mint mark. Do you see a small letter D there? Denver struck this coin in the final year the wheat penny was ever made. Step 3. Now flip the coin immediately to the reverse, because this coin tells its story on the back. Look at the reverse surface carefully. Is it darker than normal? Not fully black. Not brown. not spotted. A light black layer, smooth and even, sitting naturally across the entire reverse surface, like a thin dark veil covering the wheat stalks. Step 4. Now check the front. Is the front relatively normal looking compared to the reverse? Front clean and defined, reverse darker with the light black layer. That contrast between a clean front and a dark reverse is your most important signal. Step 5. Look through the dark layer on the reverse. Through that light black surface, can you still clearly see the wheat stalks on both sides? Can you read 1 cent underneath? Can you make out United States of America? Natural light black toning sits on top of the detail. It does not destroy what is underneath. Wheat stalks still visible through the darkness. That is the combination that matters. Step 6. Check the overall condition. Is the front of the coin in reasonable condition? Lincoln's portrait still readable. Date 1958 clear and bold. D mint mark visible below the date. Everything matching. Holder. Edges only. PCGS or NGC. Today. Because what you are holding, if it matches everything I just described, is not just a penny. It is the last goodbye of an American icon. In 1958, a child reached into her mother's change purse, pulled out a penny, looked at the back. 2 wheat stalks. 1 cent in the center. She had seen this design her whole life. Every penny she had ever held looked exactly like this. She did not know this was one of the last ones. She did not know that next year, everything would change. She spent it on candy, and that penny kept moving. Through the final months of the wheat penny era, through 1959 when the wheat stalks disappeared forever, through every decade since, while America went to the moon, while the Vietnam War came and went, while the world transformed around it, and all that time, on the reverse of that final generation penny, a light black layer was forming, slowly, quietly, naturally, like darkness falling on the end of something beautiful, like the coin was mourning the design it carried. The last wheat stalks, covered in shadow, still visible underneath, still there, even after 66 years. The last goodbye. One of the final wheat pennies ever pressed, still holding its wheat stalks underneath the darkness, still carrying the end of an era on its surface. 1958 Denver wheat penny. D mint mark confirmed. Denver. Natural light black layer on the reverse surface, smooth and even. Front in clean defined condition. Lincoln's portrait still readable. Wheat stalks still visible underneath the dark reverse layer. 66 years old. One of the very last wheat pennies ever made in American history. If your penny matches every single characteristic, that dark reversed 1 cent coin, that penny most people would look at and see nothing but an old worn coin, is worth $48,000 for 1 penny. The last of its kind. $48,000. Check your old pennies tonight. Check the ones from 1958. Check the ones with the D mint mark. Check the ones where the reverse looks darker than the front. Because the last goodbye is still out there. Still dark on the reverse. Still holding its wheat stalks underneath the shadow. Still carrying the memory of the final year. Waiting for one person who understands what it means to be the last of something. Tonight, let that person be yo. Coin number 4, 1955D. Imagine reaching into an old coin jar and pulling out a dusty 1955D Lincoln Wheat Penny. At first glance, it looks like just another old 1 cent coin. But what if that tiny piece of copper had a hidden story? Across America, collectors have searched for rare wheat pennies for decades, and a few have sold for astonishing amounts. Today, we're taking a closer look at the famous 1955D wheat penny, how to identify it, and whether yours could be worth far more than 1 cent. Stay until the end, because I'll explain which rare features can dramatically increase its value, and why some people mistakenly believe every 1955D penny is worth tens of thousands of dollars. The 1955D Lincoln Wheat Penny was struck at the Denver Mint, identified by the small D mint mark below the date. It features Abraham Lincoln on the front and 2 wheat stalks surrounding 1 cent on the reverse. Millions of these coins were produced, so most examples are common. However, collectors pay much more for coins that have unusual minting errors, exceptional preservation, or beautiful original red color. Some valuable characteristics include strong, sharp details, original mint luster, rare minting errors, certified high mint state grades. These are the qualities that separate an ordinary coin from one that could attract serious collector interest. If you own a 1955D wheat penny, check these details carefully. Confirm the date reads 1955. Look for the D mint mark beneath the date. Examine the coin under good lighting or with a magnifying glass. Look for unusual mint errors such as off-center strikes, die cracks, or other genuine mint-made varieties. Avoid cleaning the coin, as cleaning can reduce its collector value. If the coin appears to be in exceptional condition or has a possible error, consider having it authenticated and graded by a professional grading service. Many online posts confuse the famous 1955 double die penny, which was produced without a Denver mint mark, with the much more common 1955D penny. They are different coins. Every old coin has a story. Whether it came from a grandparent's collection, an old piggy bank, or loose change, it connects us to history. Even if your 1955D wheat penny isn't worth a fortune, discovering and learning about it can be exciting. Sometimes the thrill of the hunt is just as rewarding as the value itself. Keep checking your old coins. You never know when you'll find a truly special piece. So, what is a 1955D Lincoln Wheat Penny worth today? Exceptionally preserved, certified examples with rare characteristics or significant mint errors can sell for much higher prices. Claims that a normal 1955D wheat penny is worth $85,000. A value that high would require an extraordinarily rare authenticated coin, not a typical 1955D cent. If you think you've found an unusual example, have it professionally evaluated before assuming it has a high market value. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with fellow coin collectors. Good luck with your next rare coin discovery.